I'd like to begin the episode by thanking Benjamin King, Zola the Dog, Michael Davila, History Clarified, and Brad Galloway. All of these are people who have gone to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and helped us out. And you can be like them by going to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and helping us out. You get all kinds of cool stuff, including the full version of this episode, which we're going to listen to right now.
My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week we are talking about Prey, which is an immersive sim developed by Arcane Studios and published by Bethesda Softworks for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One in 2017.
Yes, you've got to pray just to make it today, according to MC Hammer.
Of course.
Second single. This episode was executive produced by Jack, our friend Jack, who we have karaoke'd with many a time.
Yeah.
And thank you, Jack. This is something I've wanted to get on the schedule forever, or at least since 2017.
Since time immemorial. It was written upon the slates. It was carved that these boys would do Prey.
My first word was mama, and then my second word though was Prey by Arcane Studios.
And took a while to figure out what Studios was supposed to mean. But
it was adorable. You may have recognized my viral hit when I come on for the baby food commercial and just be like, "This peas and carrots is Prey by Arcane Studios."
Oh, that was you? Neat.
That was me. I was the Arcane Studios baby. All grown up.
Yeah.
My dick fell off and everything.
I kind of knew that we would be doing this. I played it back around the time that it came out and liked it quite a bit. And also we tend to like immersive sims around these parts, and they're rare birds.
They match the format of the show really well.
They do.
Because there's a lot to talk about systems-wise. There's a lot to talk about. Like, it does have a linear narrative, so it's not just systems and stuff like that. I also found that my second time around playing this, I actually liked it a bit more because I knew what to expect.
Same.
Like, knowing the systems and kind of knowing what foot you're supposed to be on in this game actually was, like, very helpful.
Yeah.
My second playthrough of this was a joy front to back. Like, even there are things that I recognize that are not perfect about this. Like, I love this game. This was my favorite game the year it came out. There are things that are imperfect about it, but even those went down really smooth.
Yeah.
Because I knew about them.
Yeah. And the pacing is weird too. When you know what the shape of the game is, that helps you kind of get to the next thing because you're kind of anticipating. And that's not something that people talk about a lot. Like, it's hard to evaluate a game that is better on the second time because most of the people that you're talking to, like the primary audience for this kind of content will be people who played it 0 to 1 times.
Yes.
And you don't want to, you're basically saying like, oh, the second time around this really goes. You're basically saying it gets fun after 20 hours.
Exactly. Like, this isn't, if you didn't like the first time, you won't like the second time.
Right.
If you did like the first time, you might like the second time more.
Yeah.
Which is its own classification. And there are plenty of games like that. I actually find that to be true for a lot of games.
Yes.
It's a weird way that, like, spoilers are important, but also who gives a shit?
Right.
Actually knowing in advance actually helps a lot.
Yeah.
Many situations.
Yep. And we should probably, I forgot to put this in the notes, but this is a premium episode. So we're going to talk a lot about the generalities and the way systems work together. But the patrons are going to get the full story, kind of beat by beat.
Including the incredible twist ending that you won't believe.
Yeah.
So in this game, you play as a character named Morgan Yu, a lead researcher on a space station named Talos 1 that has been taken over by these shape-shifting aliens called the Typhon.
Yes. Named after...
There's more to it than that, but that's your...
That's kind of your log line for a lot of it. Typhon, named after the father of monsters from Greek mythology.
Mr. Lilith. Mr. Lilith has entered the chat. And this is very much was developed as and plays exactly like and is clearly a spiritual successor to System Shock 2. This is essentially, the same way that Dead Space is basically System Shock 3. This is also basically System Shock 3.
Oh, yeah.
In the genre.
Absolutely. I mean, mechanically, this has an awful lot to do with it. It is both a refinement and an expansion on a lot of what was happening in that. I mean, obviously this is an immersive sim, and System Shock was a foundational work in that in that genre. Yeah, and I as somebody who didn't necessarily care for System Shock 2, I would say play this.
It's definitely easier to play.
Yeah,
it is weird that it ends with Morgan putting on a pair of sunglasses and saying "bite my taint." Into the aliens while kicking them out of an airlock. Like they kept that System Shock 2 energy.
Yeah.
Not my wife. they kept that kind of energy to it. But other than that, it's a vast improvement.
Yeah, no. This is a first person immersive sim, plays like a first person shooter, but you're kind of navigating this persistent and open space, going through different wings of the space station, exploring offices and apartments and stuff like that, using weapons and skills to deal with threats and, get into inaccessible spaces.
Yeah. Exploring is one of the primary verbs in this.
Yes.
Immersive sims like this take from a glance, they look like a first person shooter, but you are significantly less powerful. And what you do is spread out over many activities as opposed to just satisfying gunplay. This is a genre that is about player expression and freedom. So you are meant to solve problems the way you would like to solve problems. I think Prey does a couple, not unique, but a couple really special things to emphasize that. One of which, here in the notes is our equipment. Our equipment is specifically tailored to be a versatile tool.
Yeah, it is. The space and the tools are designed around each other in this really kind of integral way. But starting with the equipment, I mean, I feel like we don't need to talk about like, hey, there's a pistol and a shotgun,
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Well, like the interesting. So there's interesting stuff to that though, because one of the things about how this leans into immersive simness is that you are on the back foot. In this, you are not very powerful.
Right.
And part of the reason why you're not very powerful is because the guns are just like pea shooters and the shotguns are rare. And the reason why that's true is diegetic.
Yeah.
You can find audio logs. You can find security personnel complaining about that. It's because they're on a space station.
Yeah.
You don't want high impact weapons that will just blow everyone out of an airlock and accidentally heat sig everybody. So you have these shitty weapons, and it's kind of part of you being on the back foot and you just having access to what are primarily tools. It's not primarily weapons.
Yeah.
What you have here, it gives that kind of improvisation, almost like Die Hard feeling to it. Like you are a scientist.
Yeah.
You're not a soldier in this.
Yeah. This
You're
is
not either of those things. Wait for the spoiler.
For the twist. Yeah. You're kind of in Gordon Freeman mode.
Yes.
Yeah. The primary one among these tools, and I would say like this feels unique to me. I haven't seen anything like this that came before it. But the glue cannon, GLOO, which will shoot these large blobs of solid foam, has a combat use. Like you can hold enemies in place if you cover them enough with that good stuff. But what you're primarily going to be using this for is to create new paths. It will stick to geometry in the world and kind of, pop out like a glowing piece of that radical rock for you to climb around and walk on as a path. And they're incredibly generous with glue cannon resources. Basically, I never ran out of this.
Yeah, they give you tons of it because one, obviously it's a multi-tool. You're using it to explore. You're also using it as other things it was intended for. Like you can use it to block vents.
Yeah.
Later on in the game, you can jam up robot dispensers with it. There's a lot of things you can use it for, and it plays into the rigor of this game because everything is faster than you. Like you get tons of ammo for this thing because the combat is balanced for you to be using all of your tools against the enemy, including slowing them down. And once you kind of figure that out, the combat clicks.
Yeah.
Or at least clicked for me, where it's like, okay, now I understand. I don't feel like I'm just getting hit without being able to do anything about it. I am meant to disempower this enemy and bring them down to my level.
Yeah.
This is written from the Atlas Shrugged perspective, and you as the parasite, you bring the Typhon down to your level.
Yeah, and the glue cannon is government and regulation. Yeah.
The G stands for government. The L stands for
liberty, not.
Yeah, Liberty, my wife. So the kind of knock-on effect of this is just fantastic level design that's incredibly vertical, which makes sense for a space station, but there are all kinds of ways to get up into the ceiling, get up into vents, go down under the floor, climb onto stuff you're not supposed to get into, which is Gary Knepp.
Yeah, and ending up, this ends up changing the way you look at the space, and I'm evaluating it like a real place. Like, okay, this room is locked up, but air has to get in there somehow. Like, maybe there has to be like a junction. Is there a panel that is out? Can I, look through? Is there a way that I can reach in? And something that I like about this is the Nerf crossbow that you have.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a really, really clever item as well.
Because it seems useless. It just seems like a little bit of world building because obviously these nerds on this space station are getting bored and it's fun to shoot people with Nerf. But these are a way to deal with a very annoying enemy in a zombies ate my neighbor kind of way, but also to activate stuff at a distance because they have capacitive tips on them.
Yeah, you can hit buttons and screens with them. That kind of level design thing with the verticality and getting into stuff you're not meant to, because this is the king of genres. You don't just get, you get rewarded multiple ways for that kind of thing. So like, I'm going to get up on top of the natural facade in the Arboretum. One, enemies aren't up there. Right. So it is tactically useful. Two, there are useful treasures up there because three, people were up there like having picnics and playing cards and grabbing a moment of privacy in this space station. And so you end up with these like magical moments where you're using the level design to get into places that, obviously were accounted for. They're places you, the player, are supposed to get into, but you, the character, aren't supposed to. Yeah. And you get to see a lot from this. Like you're getting a lot of value from it. Like, this is neat. This is just a fake rock. It looks pretty, but it's fake. Of course it is. It's a space station. Oh man, these two characters, had this picnic here and drank a few beers, and like everybody on the space station plays catch. I don't know if you noticed that, but everybody has a catching glove for some reason. It's real big here. Some people played catch, and then sometimes you can actually figure out who it was. Like you'll go to a computer later, and someone will be like, "Yeah, meet me behind the mountain, and let's at 0700 hours or whatever." Yeah. It's just so efficient. It reminds it's a Dark Souls thing, right? Like it's something that we talk about as being very beautiful in Dark Souls. Like you find an item, you get the direct information, you get the storytelling from the item being there, you get the power from having the item. Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah. And exploration is fun, but, different gamer psychographics, I think both of us are pretty similar in that like exploration for its own sake is not necessarily like a thing.
I want both.
Yeah, I'd like both intrinsic and extrinsic rewards, please.
Yes, I would like to be. I want to feel like the coolest dude in the world. when
Yeah.
I find something like this. Like, oh man, here's a secret place where people were, somebody hid their D&D clue. I just want to feel incredible
Yeah.
for that. And that's what gives me gaming good feels is, doing something that is out of the way, they don't have to do, and just feeling great about it, getting good reward.
Yeah. Mechanically, this is also assisted by the fact that this has a mantling system. I love this. You can reach so much higher than you expect that you could.
Yeah. It's always real weird when characters can't mantle in video games.
You have arms,
like
dummy.
their arms are tied to their side or something. Like I could mantle.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be very bad at it. Like, it would be really funny if somebody was watching me try to do it, but I could.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it wouldn't be graceful. I'd break all my ribs, but I could get up there. So there's other ways, so the single unit of gameplay in an immersive sim is a locked door, right? So, we talked about different ways to get through it. You can go over it. You can use the dart gun to find a window to open it from within. But there are also other solutions to this. This being, of a shock kind of, shock suffix lineage, you're going through and having superpowers. So you are using neuromods, which we'll talk about later, to either gain the ability to hack doors, or you can also turn into a coffee cup. Like you can turn into small objects and crawl in through like the bank teller slot.
Yeah.
There's just a lot you can do.
Plenty of ways around it. You can repair the door if it's broken. You can force it.
Yeah.
Yep. You've got
You can recycle it.
Yep. If there's
You can
something,
literally recycle the door into its component parts, which you then, again, not only is that cool because it grants you access, you now have component parts. You're getting gamer treats left and right.
Yeah. I love those recycler charges.
That's fucking incredible. I think that the glue gun is like the premier gameplay mechanic of this.
Yeah.
The recycler charges, I think, is a quiet favorite, like the secret winning thing in this.
Oh, absolutely. Not. I mean, and it succeeds in a bunch of different ways. So what these are, they are grenades that you can throw that kind of create a little void. And what they do is they suck everything in, and then it will turn whatever is absorbed and damaged, to 0 HP, into its component parts. And they are they're not deposited. They erupt like a fountain of Sonic coins, in the form of very satisfying little material cubes.
I want one of these. Very bad.
I want one of each of these. I want the cube. I want the sphere. That's
I want the organic one. They used to be somebody's foot. Like, can you imagine just like a cube of flesh?
Yeah,
it's fucking Hellraiser shit.
Yeah. But so not only does it give you that, it's a really powerful weapon because it works on enemies. It can backfire on you. It's also really visually impressive, actually. Like the weird gravitational lens that it does is neat too. And just it'll open up new ways. So like if you don't have the power, if you don't have the neuromod that lets you lift up the roadie case that is in front of this event, well, just back up and throw one of these charges there. It'll probably absorb whatever's on the other side of it. With the trade-off being you don't know what else is right there, so it might take a valuable item and turn it into less valuable resources, right?
Yeah. You can also, if you are engaging in the crafting system in this, which we'll talk about. I'm actually, we're pretty hard on crafting systems on this show. I'm a pretty big fan of this crafting system.
Yeah.
One of the things you can do is, I know what I need. I need more metal. Where I'm going to go. Oh, wait, the gym had a bunch of weights.
Yeah.
What if I just toss this grenade there? They're not in my way. I'm not getting anything by that other than turning them into something I can carry back to my crafting station.
I won't benefit from these broken turrets, but if I put enough of them together and throw one of these recycle charges, I'm gonna get a ton of metal and synthetic, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to use that to do anything.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to use that to shore up my ammo. I'm also going to use it to gain experience points, basically. Like allowing you to craft neuromods, which are the thing that we'll talk about. That's your character build system in this, I think is like a genius move.
Yeah.
If those were just rewards that you found everywhere, that would work. And that's how video games work. Tying it into the crafting system means that you end up in this loop where, you are fighting enemies to get their material, to get more powers, to fight more enemies, to get their material, to get more powers, to fight more enemies, to get their material, which is just like immensely satisfying.
Yeah. And,
always happy to pull an organ or a tumor off of one of these typhons because I know that's going to give me a neuromod.
Yeah. Or, clearing them out of an atrium so I can get into the offices off the side because I know there's going to be a ton of junk for me to hoover up.
Yep. Yes. Let's talk neuromods in general.
Horrifying things, not just like existentially for the way that they play into the story, but just like they're injected around your eye.
Yeah.
And you have to hold it against your skull into your eye socket for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was one up in the Bioshock thing where the guy's like, "Oh, cool, syringe. I bet you I'll jam this into my arm." And oh shit, my palm's bees. And that happens. It's like, well, how could we make this harder and grosser? What's cool about these is that there is a diegetic, like these aren't just, praxis kits that give you your superpowers. There is a diegetic reason that this is also how you gain normal skills. Because in the plot, these rewrite your memories. We'll talk about that a lot because it's important. But in the game, they break down into 4 categories, or 6 categories really, but one of them is kind of a broader category. Security, engineering, science, and then these ones that are Typhon. That are based on the alien technology and superpowers.
Yeah. So like the human ones tend to be about like using your equipment and skills and stuff better. Like that's where repair and hacking come in. You have a little hacking mini game in this. There's just it's like a little flash game where you have to move a circle around some obstacles. And the alien ones are psychic powers. And you are, what is happening is you're observing the aliens and figuring out how they do what they do, and using the neuromods to give yourself those superpowers. Yeah.
Yeah. Research is back.
Yes.
From System Shock 2 and Bioshock. The way this is kind of presented initially is kind of a moral choice. If you take the alien powers, you're giving yourself bad boy points. This is fake. And this is something I think that Arcane messes with and that I get frustrated that gamers don't pick up on. Yeah. Because it's a theme in Dishonored too. Yeah. To me that, bad boy points are fake. This game is very explicit in it. In Dishonored, you do the chaos stuff because you get a more dramatic story and more fun gameplay. That's your reward, even if things turn out more poorly for your characters. In this, the game is explicitly saying that shit doesn't actually matter. Like we're gonna contrast, this gameplay choice that is about good boy and bad boy points with actual gameplay choices about human lives and morality. Like, why are you wasting your time thinking about whether it's bad to do a neuromod, like as opposed to spending your time like, should I save these people? Yeah. Or should I go get this medicine for this person who's dying, like my former lover or whatever? Yeah. It's contrasting those on purpose. It takes a long time to understand that. Yeah. And the game swerves you towards thinking the Typhon stuff is bad boy points. It's very intentional. It's an intentional misdirect.
Yeah. Yeah. There are gameplay ramifications for this. Like the Typhon powers are very they're powerful. They're efficacious. I should say. And to balance that out, they end up being just on the whole more expensive. You do have to research them. You have the psychoscope, that you have to research things multiple times in order to, unlock and even like uncover the fact that these powers exist for you. But as you add more kind of alien matter to your, to your body by using these Typhon neuromods, eventually the turrets that are around will start recognizing you as an alien and firing on you. That's not that big of a deal. The bigger deal is the nightmare, which is this kind of nemesis-like thing, which if you are incredibly loaded up with Typhon neuromods will show up and will hunt you. For 3 minutes and then leave.
The nightmare, we'll talk about the nightmare at length, of course. The interesting thing about that is that the game tells you that the more you use those neuromods, the more the nightmare comes. This is not strictly true, but I think it's what the characters think. Yeah. The actual way this plays out in gameplay is actually pretty interesting. The nightmare will always show up If you're using a lot of those mods, it shows up at different times during a level. So if you are going pretty light on that, it will oftentimes show up when you have an easy escape. If you're going pretty heavy on the Typhon Neuro mods, it will show up when you're pretty deep in a level and have a long way to get out. Or like when you're in the middle of doing something.
Yeah.
So it shows up at less opportune times.
And also it has an easier time finding you. Like its AI will pathfind to you more quickly than if you're just running around like a good boy human, you know, doing boring stuff, like slowing down time.
Yeah. like slowing down time, or like jumping 10 feet up in the air.
Yeah. Or putting a big needle in your brain to understand that you can use a backpack dummy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what if a briefcase was bigger? The nightmare is not a total success or anything either. Like, we'll talk about that later. There's obnoxious things to the nightmare. It's not perfect. So enemies in this game, the basic enemy is a mimic. That's another kind of unique selling point for this. It disguises itself as an object in the environment. This kind of leans into the System Shock 2-esque horror of the game. And there is an early part of this game when you're very disempowered, when mimics are still a huge threat. That is really cool.
Yes.
Just, when you eventually get the ability to see these and scan for them, you eventually get to the point where they don't really hurt you very much. But early on, walking into a room and seeing, oh, why would this desk have 2 chairs? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then intuiting what that means is just an A+ gaming experience. That feels really good.
Yeah. Like walking into a lab, not really paying attention, going into a closet, turning around, saying like, were there 2 wet floor signs? Uh-oh.
Yeah. That coffee cup is wiggling. Is that because of the video game engine stuff? Because that happens in video games. Like, this reminds me of Fallout 3, where like the artifice of this being a game is actually hugely additive. One of my favorite Fallout 3 memories is being in one of the endless subway dungeons and having a Mirelurk fucking up because of Gamebryo reasons and just splashing. So it sounded like something was it felt like amnesia. Like it felt like something was splashing after me the entire time I was there.
Nice.
And just added tons of atmosphere. And then when I found the source of it, it was just a glitched out model.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh man, that was scary.
It's still a cool experience. Yeah.
Yeah. That's those scares still spend.
Something that I love about the mimic is, especially in those early days, when you're primarily attacking stuff with a wrench, is that they managed to recapture the feeling of playing the original Half-Life, kind of those first couple of stages where the head crabs are kind of a real big deal. Head crab, these are designed even to look like them a little bit. They're both these bug-like things that primarily will attack by launching themselves at you. This feels like a very good, like extrapolation on them, on the head crabs, but also like recapturing a little bit of that feel for me. Yeah,
with you, where you are less empowered, like you are slower and turn around slower, and they're very quick. You want to slow these things down. You also want to charge your wrench attack, which one of the things I wish it told you more about that. It's hugely important.
Yeah.
To take your slow swings. You are not meant to spam the wrench in a Half-Life manner.
It's a good way to tire yourself out.
And not do any damage and not stun any enemies. You're supposed to make your hits count, and with melee and ranged weapons. One interesting trivia note: one of the preview builds of this, they didn't have the mimicry AI integrated, so they just rushed towards the player, so it just looked like a really shitty first-person shooter with little monsters that ran at you.
I could see that being very unimpressive.
Yeah, just like, oh, okay. What about something in an evil bug, huh? But their actual implementation is great.
Yes.
There are larger enemies as well. We're going to talk about those when we run into them. Enemy variety in this game is not perfect or anything by any means. Like, don't expect that. Like, there are cool enemies in this, but there could stand to be more.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. So there's no money in this game. Like we said, we've got this crafting system. Honestly, like calling it a crafting system feels a little weird because it's basically you have 4 currencies. More than anything, right? And you find, not just the materials, but you also find the schematics, right? which will let you make new stuff, and you find schematics for things that you wouldn't expect. Things like your neuromods and stuff like that. You can make very powerful things with this. And we talked about the way that powers this, but I think that is a really smart way to put an economy into a game like this, which is to make everything potentially, I need one more metal for this health kit, or one more metal for, I have no ammo. Can I recycle my wrench? Kind of assuming that I'll find one a little bit later. Maybe I do that,
Yeah, and the things that make this crafting system, for lack of a better word, the economy in this game good, are worth underlining, because it's something that games do poorly all the time. Mm-hmm. It's one of the things that I think that differentiates a really great game from a not great game to me is how exciting it is to get stuff, like whether it feels good. And the way that this game handles that is, one, it's totally transparent. You don't have that crafting, like, I guess if I was making a treasure chest, I would use 3 sticks and a unit of metal, but in another game, it might be 3 logs only. Yeah. For that, like, you don't have to intuit anything. It just says, this takes 2 synthetic, 1 organic. Bam. Health kit. 2, everything can be recycled.
Yep.
So your stuff in your inventory, you're doing inventory management, but imagine like a Resident Evil 4, where if you have something extra, as opposed to waiting to sell it, you can recycle it or dump it on the floor and throw a recycling grenade at it. To get this stuff. So everything is useful. Picking up a second copy of a gun isn't a bummer, because I got this extra glue gun. I'm going to take it back to my base and get some stuff out of it.
Yeah. And if I needed to drop it because I'm out of inventory space and there's something more valuable, I drop it. And because of the backtracking, I'm probably going to see this again later.
Yeah, and if it's interesting enough, I will throw a recycler grenade at it. Like if it feels like it might be useful enough.
Yeah.
And then 2, the way it ties into, I mentioned this earlier, but the way it ties into combat and your upgrades, the fact that this is so key to your neuromod economy. Is just really, really impressive to me. Like I ended up by the end of this, like I had something like 88 neuromods, installed or something like that, like just some absolutely unreasonable amount, just because I was playing this game conservatively and was very, very well resourced.
Yeah.
So I was able to just kind of like neuromod machine go whir, and the game is balanced such that it's pretty hard to get really overpowered. In it, I just had a lot more options and felt more empowered. Yeah. I was more powerful, but not enough to break the game. Yeah, it is a good system.
Yes. Yeah. And it ties in with so many other systems as well, which is, like that is a marker for a good kind of game to me. Yeah. Yeah. There's more kinds of customization and upgrades you can do. Like you can pick up basically rings, like Dark Souls rings, these chipsets that you can put into your suit or your psychoscope to kind of give you different perks. You can expand the slots for those, and you can swap them out as you see fit. And you can also upgrade your weapons, which will improve your combat efficacy.
Yeah, just kidding. It's a pretty simple system. You just up your stats on your weapons. The chipsets some of them are authored, some of them are randomized. So you run into a little bit of Bioshock Infinite's like, oh, I found some cool pants that make enemies get set on fire if I punch them. You run into a little bit of that silly shit. Yeah, but it can really change, how you play. And by the end of the game, you will have a wide variety of these, and you can tailor them to your play style.
Yeah.
Pretty easily. When you start the game, you get to select Morgan Yu's gender. This doesn't impact anything other than dialogue, but I'm glad that they, added the option to this. The first time I played through as Lady Morgan. This time I played through as Dude Morgan. Neither of which is, it's not like a Shepherd thing where one is clearly a better performance. Like they're both pretty decent.
Yeah, I've done both as well. I did female Morgan the first time, male Morgan this time. All of my notes are going to refer to Morgan as he. Just understand that it can go it can go either direction.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So just because there is so much like mechanical stuff happening here, I want to ask you, Gary, is there any like gameplay thing that I'm forgetting here that we haven't like spent a lot of time on that we want to talk about or want to talk up more or criticize more before we get into the aesthetics?
I mean, one of the things that we haven't talked about a whole lot, and that will be useful in the second half, I think, is the general kind of rhythm of combat. We're going to talk about those individual enemies, but I do want to be able to say, you get into some prey combat and then move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in a general sense, the combat in this game is pretty harsh towards you. Like, you will take a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm. You'll die very quickly.
Yeah. You'll die very quickly, and you until you like really upgrade specifically like the shotgun, you don't have a high DPS weapon. So the idea of the flow of combat is to use the environment and use things to your advantage. So choke points, turrets, the glue gun, things like that. You need to be using those sneaking. There is a stealth kind of system in this game. You will do more damage when you sneak up on enemies. You need to be using all of those things. If you are just running up to an enemy and hitting him with your wrench, you will die. That is not how the game works.
You also get a few different kinds of grenades that are useful in different circumstances. So if you're, like, okay, I have to deal with these with these turrets that are blocking the way, an EMP will be the way to do this. Or here is a Typhon that is that has integrated some technology stuff. I can stun it by throwing an EMP. Same thing with the null wave, which will disable psychic powers when you're going up against some of the kind of more difficult phantom enemies that have elemental theme powers. Being able to turn those off for 20 seconds is a huge deal.
Yeah. That will allow you to run up and smack them. The way that you should not before that. The other thing is that you don't, because combat is tough, you don't have to fight everything in this. We talked about that stealth system, but it's an arcane game, so enemies don't look up. Which means that you ultimately want to clear enemies because you want treats.
Right.
But once you are backtracking or going through an area for a specific goal, don't fight stuff. It's like advice, but the game is designed around that as well. Like, you are faster than your enemies. Running past things is 100% viable. Sneaking past.
It takes them time to notice you and aggro, even if you're doing a full-on sprint right in front of them. And understanding that and knowing how to read the little meter that says whether or not they are sensing you, but also there are like multiple kind of nodes on it for like how close they are to, going aggro for you. Knowing how to read that, you have more wiggle room than you expect for that.
They can't climb things. Like, you can also hide just about anywhere, and that's without turning into a coffee cup. You can lock doors behind you. Like, you can close the door behind you. You have a lot of options to get away from things. That is not just advice, but it's also the game. What should jazz you if this game is going to click for you is the idea of bringing those options to bear against an overwhelming force. Moving on to kind of aesthetics, this game looks and sounds great. The music is super, super cool. The opening theme that plays over the credits.
What's it called? Everything's Gonna Be Okay.
Just absolutely incredible song. Really, really good.
But I mean, if you like kind of like old school synths that arpeggiate along impossible ranges, have I got a soundtrack for you?
And if you don't, what's going on with you?
I don't know.
Like, were your parents cousins? Like, what's happening?
This is the soundtrack was composed by Mick Gordon, the guy who did Doom, Wolfenstein, but all extremely good soundtracks. And present here and in good form.
Incredibly good. The game looks wonderful. It is, individual models and creatures, like the enemies are kind of blobby. The people look fine. The coolest part about it is all in the art design.
It's all the environments.
And it's got that mid-century kind of like retro futurist look to it. That I just love. Like, the posters in this game are some of the coolest.
I want those so bad. Just like the abstract ones that are like line art, just colored line art representing just kind of like planets, or eclipses or stuff like that. All of that rules a lot.
It's incredibly good.
Yeah, and something that I love, in a game that has an established space is like a front stage and backstage. So like places that are meant for executives or clients who are coming around, they're all very lush. They've got like good paneling, but then like the engineers and stuff deal with like all of the the practical elements of living on a space station, all the network cable and the shielding and stuff like that. Getting that kind of diversity of space and readily visually apparent, not just function but audience for these individual spaces is really cool as well from an architectural standpoint. Excellent design on display here.
Yeah, it's also, in a hallmark of the genre, right? Like these spaces make sense. So like the area where people have to be to service this, it exists. So really great looking. Writing in this game is good as well. I actually really like the story that this tells in a grand sense.
Yeah,
it's hard. It takes a long time to reveal what it's doing.
Yes.
That twist ending you won't believe that we keep referring to in a clickbaity way recontextualizes a lot of the game.
Yes.
For you. This is a much less straight putt than initially seems.
Yeah.
And I think that also contributed to me liking it a lot more on my second run through.
Same. It's funny because like I played this, roughly around the same time that I played Tacoma, and this didn't come out like too terribly long after Soma. So that was still fresh. So having this triumvirate of games that are set in futuristic spacey kind of places that ask important questions about consciousness and existence, this one kind of hit last of all of those and ended up, I think, suffering for it a little bit. Having space from that ended up being, I think, good for me, and also kind of looking for the track that they're laying, and being able to recognize the track that they're laying for the twist and for kind of the themes that are being explored.
Yeah, there's tons of foreshadowing in this. Some of it immensely unsubtle.
Yep.
as towards the actual twist. But the big the question asked, the kind of like sci-fi idea it has at the center of it is something that's resonant with me. That I think is a cool question, a cool thing to build a game around.
Yeah.
It also has alternate history stuff. So if you're that kind of nerd, which I am, so thank God Kennedy died. That's the that old Knickerbocker had to bite it, because otherwise we would have ended up in a Typhon nightmare.
Yeah. There are a lot of people from Massachusetts who would punch you straight in the face for calling Kennedy a Knickerbocker.
Yeah, try it, massholes. See if you can get over here. The state's on fire. You can't actually enter. I
like that. Just basically any story about it's like saving Kennedy ultimately reveals that would have been a horrible mistake.
Man, one of the worst things we could have done. It's funny that the sci-fi is written by like weird history purists who's like, no, don't save Kennedy, don't kill Hitler. No matter what, it will be way worse than now. Worse than the Holocaust? Oh yeah. Way worse. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, no, stomp on him in the crib. He's bad. Yeah. He caused the Holocaust. It's why it's why we have that word. Like, get rid of him.
That's why we use that word that way. Stop it, nerds.
Yeah. It's very funny that like, oh no, don't change it. Don't make good things happen.
Yeah.
Don't stop bad things from happening. Very centrist. Like time travel stories are incredibly centrist.
But Kennedy lived. He survived his assassination attempt, and the space race was prioritized and accelerated. To the point where the Soviet Union made their first contact with the Typhon, and it was kind of kept secret. And by the time they reached the early to mid 21st century, this takes place in 2035, which is really soon for all of this to happen. Which is which is a nice little touch. By the time we get here, it has mostly been like privatized, and this corporation Transtar, is up there doing research and stuff. I like that the alternate history stuff isn't really played up. It's subtle. It's just kind of part of the wallpaper.
Yeah, it's there for you if you want it. you know. So Chris Avallone helped write the game. All the normal disclaimers about his, troublesome problematicism. Not going to get too far into that, but he is, partly responsible for this. The game was directed by Raphael Colantonio, who is the lead designer of Arx Fatalis and then the then president of Arcane. And this contains some Arx Fatalis Easter eggs, which is real pleasant to me as one of the few Arx Fatalis guys. Arx Fatalis is cool.
Yeah. That was Arcane's first game, right?
First game, I think, is actually Dark Messiah of Might and Magic.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But they did a bunch of stuff. This is one of those things. I was talking to Will about this, and it's like, man, this is one of my favorite video game companies of all time.
High hit rate.
Yeah, I loved everything this company has done.
Yeah,
that I've played. Wolfenstein Youngblood was even fine. Get over it, nerds. It's not great, but it's fine.
Yeah. So like the story itself, you can tell that Chris Avallone had a hand in it. Like it, deals in lots of tropes that he's dealt with in the past. Questions about identity, consequences for choices, stuff like that. Though the broader story was, sketched out by multiple people over the course of years.
They doubled down on the immersive sim central premise here in a way that I haven't seen before, which is that this space station is to scale. Basically in all the ways that matter, which means that they populated it with a crew and every crew member is accounted for in the game. There are no just corpses, they're all people, and you can find out where they worked, what department they were in, and everything.
Yeah.
Not every one of these people are important, but several of them are, and you'll learn about them. I've never played a game that did this.
Yeah.
It is not abstracting a population. You're not, Final Fantasy 1 town where there's 7 people who live here, and you have to kind of imagine that each will represent dozens.
Yeah. So you have a large cast of, ultimately pretty minor characters, but that's really important, to understand, like when you go to a new division, you can check in at the computer and you can see like basically a staff role for the entire division. And like, there will be a check mark if you have found where they're at. Like you could go and find every single person, or there are probably some who got, spaced, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not. Well, even the ones that got spaced, you can usually find.
Yeah,
like they're floating out there. You can go grab their catcher's mitt. They're out there playing space catch, like a Rhythm Heaven mini game. And this idea of this, like a lot of them are not great characters, but what this does is contribute to setting and verisimilitude. It feels like a blue collar space station with a bunch of randos who work there.
Yeah.
It's each of these people aren't meant to have like a story. This isn't Sigil,
right?
Like this is a space station with like space truckers, basically.
Yeah, it's like Alien. Like everybody that you see has a role here. Yeah, love it.
So this has nothing to do with the 2006 first person shooter. There's a game called Prey by Human Head Studios. That game is about a indigenous person who goes onto a space station. I like Prey 1. Okay. The fact that it takes place in alien zones is a big weakness for it because everything looks kind of anonymous. Really cool opening though. Legendarily cool opening. But this doesn't have anything to do with it. Nope. That was supposed to have a sequel called Prey 2. Everyone was very excited about it. It was supposed to be kind of open world and have all these elements, but the production just never went anywhere. Yeah,
it was like an open world, and you were going to be like a bounty hunter kind of guy. Looked neat. I followed that for a while, and was disappointed that it went away. And I think that this game doesn't benefit from having the Prey name. Honestly, they could have just called it Typhon.
They could have called it anything. They could have called it like Psycho Shock. Was a working title that I saw a lot. I think the title doesn't really help.
Right.
This the thematic part of it is that you are you're the prey in this. Like it speaks to that disempowerment.
Yeah.
That you're experiencing, but also there's already a game called Prey. So it should have been called something different. And probably damaged it a little bit.
There was continuity, like that started development under 3D Realms, kind of got rebooted a couple of times. It moved to Bethesda. Arcane got attached to it before like that version that they had announced was ultimately canceled in 2014. And then the Prey that we know, the Prey that we have here, was kind of announced as a reboot or a retooling in 2016 with Arcane at the helm, kind of developed alongside Dishonored 2.
Cole Antonio went directly for this, wanting to make another crack at a game like Arx Fatalis, specifically in having a large interconnected world with an ecology. Arx Fatalis is a little bit like a medieval dungeon immersive sim. He wanted to do that again, but different genre.
Yeah.
He also wanted to kind of create something he called a chaos of systems, where there are a lot of different mechanics that interact in unpredictable ways. This is all immersive sim, genre standbys. This game has been called by some, I know Danielle Riendedo. I mispronounced her last name, right?
Riendo.
Right?
Riendo.
Yeah, Riendo. Is like, this is the immersive sim. It is the apex of the genre. It is definitely designed to be, this does all the immersive sim shit.
This
and you can see that when you read about its creation.
Yeah, like this is extremely faithful to what immersive sims were before. I think that I'm pretty on board with her with her read on this, because other entries in the series have been kind of streamlined. They've been forked, simplified, or kind of more focused on one aspect or another.
Yes.
Even Deus Ex was ultimately kind of made into something a lot like this, but different than back in the day. This feels like it has the most direct through line back to System Shock 2, back to the original Deus Ex.
Yeah, Deus Ex Human Revolution has stages.
Yes.
You go to an area and you can't go back. You have, there are gates, there are little things you have to do to gain access to places later, but you do eventually have the whole world.
Yes.
Which is something that is a System Shock early thing for this. So Arcane kind of messed around having proc gen in this, which, thank goodness they dropped that, because the level design is incredible.
Right.
Eventually this became what Moon Crash is, a game I am greatly looking forward to playing, and now I've given myself permission to, because I replayed this.
It's fucking shocking to me that you didn't jump on that, because it feels like the kind of thing, if I wanted to catch you, and I just put if I need to bait to put under a box, that was propped up with a stick, I would just make up Moon Crash and put it under there, and wait for you to go for it.
It absolutely is. The thing that stopped me was it came out a while after the first game, and I was like, I'd like to replay Prey.
Yeah.
Before I do Moon Crash, and then I just knew we'd do it for the show someday. So it's weird the way that this show impacts game playing, in some unexpected ways sometimes.
It's weird and real.
Yeah, it's weird. It's great, but it's weird. I'm looking forward to going into Moon Crash. Everything I've heard about Moon Crash sounds really cool.
Yep.
It is you can't saves come through it. The neuromod skill paths are basically classes that are different people. So instead of being able to just choose engineers, you can get the character who is the engineer. And you have this more specialized skill set, and that's that character's kind of identity.
Nice.
As they move through.
Yeah. So story development for the base game took a long time. Cole Antonio, Harvey Smith, and Austin Grossman kind of took a long time thinking through the alternate history details, and kind of coming up with what the Typhon are and how they interact with the environment and what their individual ecology is. Something that is cool about this game is that as time proceeds, as you accomplish your goals, the the Typhon are doing stuff. They're actually converting the station into something, and that is changing the enemy loadout in different places as that process goes around.
Yeah, those strands and the floss ends up everywhere. Chris Avellone was brought in from 2013 to 2016, primarily writing for the NPCs, doing the dialogue, and then doing incidental text, so emails and such. The release of this was pretty troubled. There were a lot of technical problems on PC, and Bethesda did that Bethesda thing where they chose not to market the game and did not send out review codes until 24 hours beforehand.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, just shitty.
Yeah.
You know, dumb. Despite of that, like, that's usually what you're doing when you're trying to hide a flop.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they end up being great, like that happened with Doom 2016.
Yeah.
It actually reviewed pretty well, but none of you motherfuckers bought it.
Yep.
So if you're listening to this and you didn't buy this, and you're the reason why we're not getting single player Arcane games anymore, lick my bridge. It is it's frustrated with you. You should have bought this.
Did you give?
Yeah, you gotta give. If you don't give, the system doesn't work. We don't keep getting these games. You gotta give.
Arcane can't get a grip on either end of this thing. You have to give.
Yeah. Our Arcane Calico Cut pants.com.
Yeah.
You gotta give. You don't want the spigot shut off. You don't want to, like, I'm barely hanging on by a thread at most times. You don't want to see what I'm like when the steady drip of single player immersive sims dries up. I will lose my fucking mind. Yeah. I don't just mean in like a network sense. I'm not just saying like, oh yeah, goals will get worse. Of course they'll get worse. But in addition to that, like style shit.
A more holistic degradation is what we're saying.
Of myself and society.
I still cut out a lot of stuff about the fate that mankind divided suffered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You bring that up at like the drop of a fucking hat.
Yeah. I get so mad. And Dishonored 2 even. Mm-hmm. That didn't sell super great.
Yeah. No.
You guys are fools. Like they keep putting those together too, and they're like $20, 2 of the greatest games to come out in the last 10 years. And everyone's like, oh, I don't know. Come on, man.
We'll include Dishonored 1 and all the expansions there.
I don't know. Here's a unique genre we don't get anymore. There's only like 10 of these games total. Each one should be a national holiday. But you can't afford the $20. You'd rather go out and, I don't know, buy some horse shit.
It's not even that. Like something that is true now because of Bethesda's partnership with Microsoft. All of this is on Game Pass. So you can have it. Just
you already have it. We're just asking you to give.
To just play.
Like, yeah, you gotta give. So if you didn't do that before, you are my enemy. It doesn't mean that you can't listen to the show. It just means you're my enemy.
Yeah.
So don't take it personally.
10 hours dungeon. Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely sold like shit. They fixed the PC version. Basically, PC version runs fine. That's how I played it. They added an update that did a new game plus and then a survival mode. Survival mode is actually pretty interesting. It includes a lot of mechanics that were cut.
Yeah, oxygen meters,
from the original game.
Things like that.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. But since this game is at least 40% about privation and resource management, I could see that being really cool.
I'm the kind of person who wouldn't play the survival mode in New Vegas, but I'm happy that it's there.
Same. I appreciate it from afar. Yeah, like a beautiful statue.
We already talked about Moon Crash. That was released as kind of a paid expansion, and something that I'm really curious about messing around with. Might be fun to do on a stream. Is Typhon Hunter. That was kind of the last big update. Typhon Hunter is like a hide and seek game. One person plays a human, another person plays a mimic, and the mimic has to hide and then get the drop on the human without being killed. That is kind of like an expansion of like a Gary's Mod kind of gameplay mode called Prop Hunt, but this one is within the cool world of Prey, and you're a mimic.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. Like I even if I didn't play that, because I don't like competing in video games, I would love to watch it. Yeah, because I'm sure there are some really cool strategies.
Yeah. I'm generally a big fan of that kind of multiplayer. Actually, like the Assassin's Creed multiplayer, the reverse Turing test kind of thing. Like I need to blend in as somebody who could feasibly be an NPC in this game or an object in this game. Find a place for this coffee cup to sit that isn't suspicious. Like that is all cool and good.
Yeah. I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah.
That's going to be the end of this part of the episode. the public part of it. You can get the entire episode if you are a patron. If you go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv, $5 a month gets you all of these, as well as a bunch of bonus shows and episodes early and access to the Slack. It's a king's ransom of cool digital benefits.
Yeah.
And you can just pop on and listen to this and pop off if you'd like. I'm not here to tell you where to pop.
Yeah, it's a king's ransom of benefits for a pauper's ransom of price.
Yes, yeah, you can pop her off, pop her on. So join us there and hear the rest of the episode.
Please do. Otherwise, we'll be back next week with the dispatch episode for this month.